Today, I want to talk about the very first decision you make when you start a new book, the one that shapes every other decision after, and the one that is hardest to change once you have made it. Hello, home bosses. This is the fifth and final video in my series on production design, which is all about how to make your book look professional. And today we're talking about format, the physical decisions about your book, trim size, paper, paperback or hardcover, and the cover finish. All the things that decide what your book actually feels like in someone's hands. And by the end of this video, you will know how to pick the right format for your book, what each decision means for your reader, and the format mistakes that cost self-publishers time and money. And this is the last video in the series, so I will also do a quick recap of everything we have covered before we finish. So let's get into it. Let me start by explaining what we mean by format. Format is everything physical about your book. The trim size, which is the dimension or the size of your printed book. The paper inside, whether it's cream, white, or the newer Groundwood option. Whether the book is a paperback or a hardcover, whether the cover is glossy or matte, and how many pages the book has in total. So these are the choices that decide what your book physically is. And before any of the design happens, before any of the content goes in, you have to know what the book is going to be as an object. The reason format matters more than people realize is that it sends signals to the reader before they open the book. The size, the weight, the feel of the paper, the finish of the cover, all of these tell the reader what kind of book they are holding before they read a single word. A small pocket journal says, "Carry me with you." A larger desk journal says, "Sit with me at home." A square picture book says, "Read me to a child." A glossy magazine-sized activity book says, "Have fun and get messy." So if you get the format wrong, the book sends the wrong signal. The reader picks it up and feels a small mismatch they cannot quite name. And format decisions are the hardest to change later. Once your book is printed at a certain size on a certain paper, you can't redesign it without redesigning everything. So getting the format right at the start saves you a huge amount of time and money. Let me share 4 practical things to think about when you are choosing your format. Number 1, match the size to how the reader will use the book. This is the single most important format question. How and where will the reader actually use this book? For picture books, think about who is reading it. Is it being read aloud to a small child at bedtime? A square 8 by 8 or a wider 8 by 10 works well because it is comfortable to hold open on a lap. Is it a book the child will explore on their own? A slightly smaller size might be easier for little hands. For low-content books, the use case really matters. A gratitude journal someone uses every morning at home can be larger, like 7 by 10 inches. A travel journal that needs to fit in a handbag should be smaller, like 5 by 8 inches. A puzzle book someone uses on the train works at 6 by 9. An activity book for children that need space for drawing works at 8.5 by 11 inches. For fiction and non-fiction, the standard sizes are usually 5 by 8 inches for novels and 6 by 9 inches for non-fiction. And these are what readers expect, and there's rarely a reason to break the convention. Number 2, choose between paperback and hardcover thoughtfully. For most self-publishers, paperback is the default. It is cheaper to produce, easier to publish, and what most readers expect for journals, planners, and low-content books. Hardcover makes sense for books that are likely to be kept long-term, special edition children's books, coffee table books, premium gift books, anything where the production quality is part of what you are selling. A few practical things to know. Hardcovers cost more to produce on KDP, so the price point will be higher. The shipping is also slower, and not every book size is available in hardcover, so check the KDP options before you commit. Number three, pick the right paper for the content. KDP has updated their paper options recently, so let me walk you through what is currently available. For paperback books, you have 5 options: cream paper, black ink on white paper, black ink on groundwood paper, premium color on white paper, and standard color on white paper. For hardcover books, you have 3 options: black ink on cream paper, black ink on white paper, and premium color on white paper. The groundwood option and the standard color option are paperback only. Cream paper has a slightly warmer tone and is easier on the eye for long reading sessions. It works well for fiction, for memoirs, poetry, and books with a more literary feel. Think about the old pulp fiction books. And white paper has higher contrast and works for most journals, planners, activity books, and any book with a crisp, modern design. If your book has any color images or graphics, you have to use white paper because that is what color books print on. Groundwood paper is a newer, lighter option. It's the budget friendly and eco friendly choice for paperback books with black and white interiors. It works well for novels and non-fiction where you want to keep the production costs down. It's around 5% lower per page than cream or white. It has a warmer, slightly grayer or pinkish tone compared to standard cream paper. And the advantages are that it lowers printing cost and reduces carbon emissions. And it also gives authors the ability to market their books as a green, low carbon choice. The disadvantages are that it has lower opacity, so it's a little more see through, not ideal if you publish a book with, for example, photographs or heavy illustrations or highly detailed fonts like Garamond, for example. So for color interiors, you have a choice between premium color and standard color. Premium color gives brighter, sharper images and is the right choice for picture books and anything where the visual quality really matters. And it's also the choice for books that have fewer pages than, I think it's 72 for standard color. And premium color is really good for children's books, which only have 32 pages. Standard color is cheaper, but the quality is more muted, which makes it better for low content books with simple color elements rather than detailed illustrations, and also for books with lots of pages. And I will leave a link to the KDP paper options below the video so you can check the latest details for yourself, because these options do change from time to time. Number 4, glossy or matte cover. This is a small choice, but it sends a signal. Glossy covers feel commercial and bright. They work well for children's books, activity books, or anything aimed at a younger audience or a more playful market. They also tend to make colors pop. And matte covers feel premium and considered. They work well for fiction, memoirs, journals, planners, and anything aimed at an adult market or a more reflective tone. There isn't really a right answer. Just think about what the cover finish is saying to the reader when they look at your book, and check out what your competitors are using. So, how do we apply this? Here is practical advice for anyone choosing a format for a new book. Decide your format before you do anything else, not after you have written the content, not after you have designed the pages. Do it before. The format is the container and everything else fits inside it. So ask yourself 3 questions. How will the reader use this book? Where will they use it? What signal do I want the book to send when they pick it up? If you can answer those three questions, the format usually becomes obvious. For books you have already published, format is the hardest layer to change. If you find the format is wrong, the realistic answer is usually to apply what you have learned to your next book rather than redesigning the existing one. The three most common format mistakes I see are defaulting to standard sizes without thinking about the use, picking up wrong paper for the content, and choosing hardcover for a book without any real reason. If you can avoid those three, you will already be ahead of most self publishers. And because this is the final video in the series, I want to take a moment to recap the whole thing. We started with the frame layer, that is about the margins and the gutter of your book, the empty space inside the book where your content sits. Then we covered the front and back matter, the pages at the beginning and the end of your book, title pages, copyright pages, dedications, author bios, all the structural pages that make a book feel finished. Then we looked at flow, the rhythm of your book, how it moves from start to finish, the pacing, the section breaks, the moments of pause and progress. And then we covered type, the fonts you use, the sizes, the spacing, and the hierarchy, how to use no more than 2 fonts properly and make the inside of your book look professional. And now, format, the physical decisions that shape everything else. These 5 layers together are what I call production design, the structural side of bookmaking that almost nobody talks about. It's what separates a book that feels finished and considered from one that feels rushed and not professional. And if you have watched the whole series, thank you very much. I hope it has given you a clearer way to think about your own books and a few practical things you can apply straight away. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. And this was the final video in the production design series, but I will keep making videos about self-publishing every week. So if you have found this series useful, make sure you are subscribed for whatever comes next. And if you want to go deeper into all of this, I have a full mini course on production design inside my Home Boss Academy membership. It includes extra lessons, worksheets, and templates that go beyond what is in these videos. And I will leave a link below. And the Academy is good for anybody who wants to really create a publishing business and not just publish random books here and there. It's really structured and we have live calls. It's a really good place to treat this as a proper business and create an income from it. So I would love to hear from you in the comments. Which of the 5 layers do you think you need to work on most in your own books? Let me know. Thank you so much for watching this whole series. It has been a real joy to make, and I really appreciate every single one of you. Take care of your business and take care of yourself. See you in the next video. Bye for now.